right. We live another episode of Soul Cycle Alchemy.
That's right. Hello, America, and the rest of the world, and whoever else watching.
Right.
Or whatever.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let's get it going here. It's time. It's mantra time.
Mantra time.
Yeah, this is to set the energy right. Here we go. Through the power, force, might, and will of the great no-thingness, of the almighty powers of the great no-thingness, of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light, from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized into physical realization, actualization, and form, is now being and becoming an active force of higher consciousness, an active force of infinite intelligence within us all. Now, being and becoming an active force of being and becoming the great primordial Typhonian dragon serpent indigo kundalini flame, now whirling and ascending up our spine from our root chakra to our central heart chakra on up to our royal crown chakra, igniting the royal crown chakra, illuminating the first eye, the Lord Amenel Drakra, the hidden priestly grandmaster magi, the dragon godson king and queen, igniting all of the 72 chakras in our first eye and all of this our 72 primordial dragon god son kings and queens, and all of our legions of 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 armies 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 of armies, willing all of the powers, all of the elements, all of the essences, all of the dark matter, all of the dark energy within the absolute all, into being becoming all of our will substance, all of our will servants, serving all of our wills, objectives, intentions, and desires, crystallizing them all into physical realization, actualization, and form, as we all now will and commanded to be now, being and becoming an active force of unstoppable energy, helping us all now by bringing all out war, judgment, death, and destruction to all of the corrupted, multi-dimensional, negative archonic energies and their wannabe white supremacist, European, American, imperialistic, globally counterfeit spirits running the surface of the earth with their technology and military might directed at us and our well-being in order to kill, murder, corrupt, and degenerate us, taking us all off of our true evolutionary path and cycle to forever enslave us deeper and deeper into their artificial reality construct in the name of their God and master, the demiurge, as we are now all able of pulling down unlimited supernal energy from right out of the nothingness into our reality, manifesting it here as an all-consuming flame that no force can stand up to, burning away all of the multidimensional archonic demiurge energies, raising the vibratory rate here so high, making all of the archonic demiurge energies too sick to even fight us, as our energy is completely consuming away all of the archonic and demiurge energies directed against us, clearing the way to our true evolutionary path, using our first eye, the hidden grandmaster magi, to open up a super massive black hole, now sucking in all of the archonic demiurge energies back into the primordial nothingness to be regenerated into something else more universally constructive, as we are now all free to ascend back up to conscious unity through the power, force, and might and will of the great no-thingness of the almighty powers of the great no-thingness of infinite beingness, of infinite, endless, limitless, invisible light, from which comes the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming realized, as we are now will and commanded to be. Now, being to become projected unto the entire omniverse, earth, and physical and spiritual matrix and heavenlies, from beyond the entire omniverse, earth, and physical and spiritual matrix and heavenlies, now completely taken over unconsciously, judging and destroying the entire omniverse, earth, and physical and spiritual matrix and heavenlies, being and becoming the absolute all that was, all that is, and all that is being and becoming, as we all now will and commanded to be as one. Abracadabra.
Presto chango.
Yep. New world.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
man, things are getting really hot and thick here with this global soap opera we're in now. We have a new villain, Putin, Vladimir Putin. He's now getting the blame for everything that goes wrong in everyone's life in the world.
And what's cold at this point now is that, excuse me, a lot of the stuff Trump was doing when he was in office makes sense now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It makes sense now.
He was the guy that was supposed to be there. It was just that he was just too ballsy for America. America lost its balls. America got wimpy. America became too politically correct.
Well, I think they've been pulling a bluff for all these years, and now the rest of the international community are outside of the allied forces are calling a bluff now. But
that's because of the weak leadership that for some reason keeps getting elected into office in this country or whatever it is, which
right.
is I'm sure it's probably done on purpose. I mean, like every other great organization on the planet, the corporation of the United States of America was infiltrated by a group of people that has nothing in mind but to destroy this country internally. And they're doing a good job.
Well, you got to go to its inception and its original intention from its inception. It was never in the interest of the people in the first place. And we got to realize what we call today the United States of America was a colonizer on indigenous land.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people forget that part.
Yeah.
Because we looking at this entity that we see in present time, and it's seen far removed from all those atrocities it has done to the indigenous people here. You know what I'm saying? So this is from its inception, its main goal was to exploit the people and the land. The whole main objective from the day one. You know what I'm saying? So there's no mystery why it's why this society is where it is today. It's exploitation over and over again. And then they play off the emotions of the general public, who at this point, like I talked to my brother, at this point, it ain't the elitists that's the problem. It's the people who are allowing the elitists to continue on unquestioned, unchecked. I mean, the people at this point should see, obviously, our best interest is not in continuing to perpetuate these systems, these global states. I'm talking about across the board. I'm not. Yeah. Ain't nan one of these states have the interests of the people in them.
None of them.
Nan one. So
none of them
taking sides on or having some patriot loyalty to one or the other. No. What we have to realize as humanity is all of them have to be overthrown.
Yeah. Well,
at this point, until then, we're going to continue to be in a perpetual slavery. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what's that's people are not considering. That's the real of what this end cycle actually means. Is that the people are going to snap out of it, and it's not going to be necessarily romanticized like people would think it is. No, it's going to be harsh. It's going to be variations, and we just got to Go through the motions, man. Because at this point, you either taking the side of the oppressor, the beast on this planet that's oppressing everybody, or you taking the side of the freedom of the people.
Yeah, and if you take the side of the beast, you're gonna get eaten alive by the beast anyway.
The thing about it is, motherfuckers know their stability ain't with the beast. It's just, I don't know. They just so dependent. They're dependent.
They try to appease the beast to keep it from eating.
That's based on their dependency on it. They look at it as their fucking leader. Like the people really are playing the game. Like when like this mask man. The man is over with. And people still set a mask as if it's not obvious that you wearing a mask is not preventing any spread, and you're gonna get it anyway. Like, what I mean,
I see more.
It's just sheeple. The zombies are our direct enemy too. They are direct enemy. The ones who don't want to critically think, the ones who don't want to see what's obviously going on and want to keep on going on to get along, complacent in the system. They're the enemy at this point. If you for freedom, if you for free will of the people,
well, then they're just going to be, collateral. What they call that? Collateral. Yeah, they're just going to be a part of the collateral damage.
They have been countless times. This history is so vast that it's surprising to me how people still trust this system.
I wish there was a spell or something that I could do that could heal the world and heal everyone, wake everybody up, wake us all up, and then we then as a planet and a world we move forward together as as one.
Well, the mantra somewhat does that too, though. As long as we keep on pushing the mantra, you know what I'm saying, it's going to eventually counter the spells that we're under.
Yes,
we're going to counter it.
Yeah, that's what that thing is designed for. Sword.
Right,
cutting through all that and cutting through this illusion.
I'm coming up with another one too.
Okay,
I'm coming up with another one too, so it can be like we can attack it on different levels because like we don't realize that it's not a physical war anymore. That shit is over with. If you think you're gonna fight this shit physically, then you don't get it either. It's not a physical war. It's a spiritual and a mental war.
Yeah, I mean, if someone hits you in the face, you better hit them back. Motherfuckers coming in your home want to take you and your family. You got guns, you better shoot their ass.
That's part of the spiritual war, though. You get it? Because at the end of the day, we're not supposed to have fear of what's going to happen to us physically.
Yeah,
that's how Haiti. That's how they want their independence. They just totally dismissed all of the Western ideas of ourselves because that's a Western concept of materialism, superficial. You know what I'm saying? Looking at the world from the outside in. We don't do that. That's not our culture. That's not our nature.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So we put too much emphasis on physical existence. It's an illusion, though. I don't care how many times I prove it's an illusion. You still emotionally attached to that shit to where it's like when you playing a video game or sometimes when I play a video game, it's like I get caught up in the video game so much that I'm moving with the damn game like I'm the damn character in the goddamn game.
And till I get my ass kicked real bad, then I say, "Oh shit, it was just a game."
You don't want to accept that part.
Yeah. Now, if I win, it's a different story. You
indulged into that part.
Yeah, it was just a game. I got my ass.
That's what this reality is. They so indulged that they forgot. They conveniently forget.
it's a dramatic. It's a hologram. It's a dramatic hologram. It's a it's a hologram that you get to participate in that is very, very real. That is very real within itself. Although it's an illusion, but within that illusion, it feels very, very real. Even though everything that's in the hologram is an illusion and is only a projection. But it's
only as real as you believe it is. That's the problem. We have been convinced that it's real. That's the problem.
But see, when you understand true self, then you understand that it's an ingenious idea for the immutable one to experience self.
That's besides the fact that whole matrix is being used to harness these souls, right, and use their energy. That's the whole point of the matrix at this point. Like, of course, if we, like I said, as humans,
well, that's something that the matrix has become.
As the humans or divine sparks, we take the matrix back, then it will become that. You know what I'm saying? What you're talking about. What happens is somebody has co-opted it.
Yeah, it's been co-opted.
The program, and they're operating the program, and now we come back and engage in the virtual reality, so-called existence, life, right? And then somebody else has taken over the system. Someone who wants to harness our energy.
Yeah, and keeping us in a low vibratory rate until where we can't help but keep perpetuating this over and over by coming back again and again and again. It's an ingenious plan. I mean, for I'm
glad you said that, because we always have to respect our adversaries. Right? 9 times our adversaries are nothing more than projections from your lower shadow self, emanating itself and manifesting itself into these, you know what I'm saying, confronted so-called enemies.
Our worlds.
Adversaries.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're nothing more than what you're not wanting to deal with within.
Yeah.
You're not wanting to deal with this within, it's going to come out and present itself to you, confront you.
Or maybe it was something that we had to confront anyway to see just how we're going to deal with it.
You deal with it knowing you are part of the divine.
And not only that, but the problem or whatever it is that we're facing is also a part of the divine too. That has to be put in its place.
Right. It's mastery of self, man. This is basically what it is. We're not experiencing nothing more than aspects of ourselves on all different levels. Like crazy how this whole seemingly outer experience going on is nothing more than a projection of something that we're emanating from higher planes. It's just that simple. This is not. We're not necessarily here, but we are here.
Yeah, we're here. In other words, we're all a fucking movie star.
Well, that's an aspect of who we are. But
that's an aspect.
The director too. The director.
Yeah, we're the movie star, the director, the film. Well, the production. Well, the director.
Right.
Yeah, we want to be. Yeah, you want to become the whole production,
You
take
are
control of the studio.
you already are these things. These are just like I said, nothing is outside of you. Everything is an emanation of something going
Hmm.
on inside.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah. Like in Eastern teachings, they say that we're already enlightened beings. We just don't know it
Right.
because of our lower nature. Because we believe that we are the person that's being projected in down in our lower nature. We believe that that's who we really are, but in deeper sense we are this highly divine and wise being that's perfect and immutable, but that's beyond the personality though.
Right.
And it's just about remembering that, tearing off the shell that's hiding that, and coming into union with the true reality.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of times I'll be thinking that, damn, I figured it out. I'm a genius. And I listen, this shit is really based on a lot of people are lying to themselves. They're not willing to be really honest because that's all it really takes to figure this stuff out. To just truly be truly honest with yourself. But everything is confronted. You're confronted with it, and you're getting all of this intuitive. At this point of the cycle, we're getting all this intuitive. You ain't getting all this intuitive information coming in, then there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, they turned something off inside of you.
Right. So we got to realize that we're going to get all of these different type of cognizance and messages from within this aspects of ourself communing with self.
Yeah, just by silence, through the silence,
Right.
silence and darkness.
Right. See,
That's where you find.
that's very important. What you just said is the silence and darkness. I spend a lot of time by myself.
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
swear, and it's like I commune with higher entities as now. It's like now it's like inevitable. It's like you around a lot of people,
yeah,
you're gonna always be clouded with their voices.
you get. Yeah, yes. When you're around a
And
lot of people,
those
there's
who
a lot
might
of interference.
so those who might thinking, oh, he's schizophrenic, huh? He's hearing voices. Y'all know y'all hear it too. Y'all know y'all hear it. You just don't want to say it because they demonize this in the society. You know what I'm saying?
They have conversations with themselves just like everyone else.
Right. Remember, I said everything is nothing more than an aspect of yourself.
Hmm.
Nothing is outside of you. If you
And
disassociating, if you're disassociating and thinking you're going to accomplish something from a materialistic, superficial approach, then you don't get it. They didn't build those pyramids through some bullshit as oh they constructed them and they had the the Hebrews in slavery and all this old crap. Get the fuck out of here.
yeah, cracking a whip on their back and shit.
That's some bull crap, man.
That's some Hollywood
all of
shit.
all of the history they've told us at this point needs to be reevaluated, reinvestigated.
It
I don't
needs to be.
none of it.
It
I
needs.
don't if you're repeating and regurgitating something that they told you in the training, I know something you're robotic at this point. You're robotic at this point
Hmm.
because all of that information has been proven. Go get the book Hidden Archaeology and find out that they got political interest in hiding the truth about the past.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
They got
Yeah.
very high political interest in hiding the truth of the past. Because if the past is the future and the future is the past. So if we can look to the past far enough, we can see the future.
Yeah, because everything is repeating cycles.
Right.
So in the cycle, the past becomes the future again, and the future becomes the past.
There is no beginning, there is no end. We are
Yeah.
eternal, infinite beings.
Yeah. Oh, um, did you look at did you watch that video I sent you on the from Ray Dalio? And let me see.
The dark, divine dark.
No, no, no. It's about. Here we go. Oh, yeah, the principles for dealing with the changing world order by
Oh
Ray
yeah,
Dalio.
I never got a chance to look at it because I was looking at another video. I've seen it up though, so
But
I'll
we should play this. We should play this. You should. Let me. Did I sent it to you? You should play that.
I don't want to play people's videos though. That's
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, that's right. We can't do that.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you clip it out, you can. If you make an effort and just clip certain parts out and make a video, because you can do it on your phone. You can get a video editing. It's a video recording. You can record right off your phone and edit it all the parts you want, and then I send them to me. And then, you know what I'm saying? But I know you probably ain't gonna make that much of an effort.
if I could, I would.
I mean, it's simple. Really, it's really simple if you really just download one of the recording apps. So you can record right from your screen, and just whatever clip you want that emphasizes whatever points you're trying to make or whatever. Do the clip that point, and then send it to me. You can email it to me, and I can just play the clip. But we ain't playing somebody's whole video and stuff. And
yeah. Okay. But let me wait. There's something here I want to show you
though. Because I wanted to get. I sent you a video that talked about the TikTok.
Yeah. That's a trip.
I mean, they went. It's wow. They really went in details on how they're literally using TikTok to infiltrate all of these different countries now. Because TikTok, I mean, everything they said in that video, I witnessed it. Like, it's a worldwide phenomenon within less than a couple of years.
Okay, here's one thing I want to outline. What he gives you the principle. Okay, it's this thing called the big cycle behind empires' rise and declines. Okay, it's like a arch, ascending arc. Okay, from the bottom of the arc, you have the New World Order. And then after that, you have peace, prosperity, and productivity.
Is that an image that he has?
Yeah.
Also, because that's what I'm saying. That whenever you want to do or present something, send it to me. Send the image. Take a clip. Send the image. I mean, we can. It's a way we can make this shit happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can take a picture of it and send
clip
it
and then send it. And then I can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay, and then after the piece,
like an effort, like producing the show. You know what I'm saying? So we can, you know what I'm saying, bring references.
Okay. All right. Well, then after the peace, prosperity, and productivity, you have the financial bubble and the big wealth gap. And that's at the top. And then that's on the other side, at the top of the side, descending down, you have the economic bust and economic downturn. We already went through that. And then you have printing money and credit. We've already seen that. And then after that, you have revolution and war. That's where we're at now. And then after that, you have debt and political restructuring. That's coming after the war. And then the new world order. And this cycle has always repeated itself over and over and over and over and over. It's never strayed from that.
Yeah. But whenever it get to a breaking point like it is now, I mean, you gotta wonder. You gotta wonder if it's gonna be the same. It's gonna be the same like it was in other times.
Yeah.
It's a breaking
yeah.
point. Like,
yeah. This time, yeah, this time could be unlike any other time, but so like the other times before then. But I think this time is a unique and more unique and special than any other time in human history, in my opinion.
That's no doubt. You can't deny that.
Yeah.
Deny that. This is very unique. I mean, it's similar, but what we have to realize is those cycles add up into it becomes it's like the character of in the Egyptian mythology called Kefra is meant after the doom bug or the doodle bug. I mean, not the doodle bug, but the dunk bug.
The beetle.
Yeah, and how it makes these dunk balls over time, and then it grows and grows and grows out of
shit, and it flies away.
Out of more dung.
Scarabs. They call them the scarab.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's the cocoon.
Yeah, we're in this shit. We're in this shit. But after we see, there's two things we have to do. We have to get past all of our human desires, emotions, and all the hangups. Move beyond that, so we don't have to repeat that no more. And also unify.
Move beyond that. I can't help to think that, of course, because I realize how many people can't do it at this moment. It's crazy how. Go ahead, brother. Though.
And then unify with all of humanity, and with the unified, become unified with all.
No doubt. I mean,
yeah.
Of course, at the particular state humanity is at right now, that seems impossible.
Well,
impossible.
Yeah, on one hand,
eventually that is the eventuality of it.
But still, humanity is still it's still a divine thing. I mean, it's lowly, but it came from something divine.
No doubt.
And it still have divine aspects within it. I mean, each one in humanity do have an immutable aspect of, a higher self, something beyond the lower self.
Right.
That can awaken and blossom and turn in some, enlightenment. I mean, there is still the possibility of enlightenment. Humanity is something, even though within itself, if it was left up to humanity, it would never, ever reach enlightenment.
I don't think enlightenment is the problem. I think the balance of the dark against the light and humanity's level of understanding that balance within is one of the biggest problems we have.
Or maybe
we think it's either or, and it's not. It's multidimensional in sense.
Or maybe what humanity is going through right now will eventually lead humanity into enlightenment. Now, in order to, from darkness comes light, right? So humanity is definitely in darkness right now.
Right. And that
And for
darkness is just not knowing. They just don't know. That's what that means.
exactly.
They just
But
don't.
in the darkness,
Are they forgotten?
they've forgotten. But if received a certain amount of trauma,
Mm-hmm.
uh, that trauma could help bring it back, because it's either trauma, repetition, and
A lot of that is one of the main recoverers or revitalizing of that spark.
mm-hmm.
Is something has to go down. Like it's really something really drastic has to go down to where even on a mundane level, something's going to kick in.
Yeah. And if
We're
that's
going
the
to put
case,
it
humanity is on path for that, you could say.
in. So I mean, that could be associated with the whole evolution, not just physical, biological evolution, but the evolution of the soul.
Of the
So I
soul.
think it is all connected.
Yeah. Going through the trauma, going through the darkness, going through this, walking, through the desert, and there humanity find out who it really truly is and who it really
Yes,
truly isn't.
yes, because we have lost ourselves. You're right,
Okay, and so the only way we're going to find ourselves is in this dark cave, in
yeah,
this
and that
where,
is the ritual that they send all the initiates to.
yeah,
They,
okay, the whole world is about to get initiated.
right,
Yeah, we're all getting initiated right now, ready or not.
yeah,
And so it's up to the ones who are aware of their true enlightenment, which is, we all have, but the ones who are in the awareness of their enlightenment can help lead humanity along this path spiritually.
yeah. Eventually, I mean, uh, what we're basically saying is eventually you can't keep being an automaton for the beast.
Even if you do, what we're about to experience is going to be so bad until you're going to see the beast that you're being an automaton to suffer and down on its knees too, to where
Mm, that's a good vision. I love that vision right there. Because I
until
know that was like a more than a vision. That was like a premonition. That was more like a prediction. I seen it just now when you said
yeah.
that. I seen that all the people that they respect are going to be taken down a notch, and they're going to be brung down to humanity, to earth again, and it's going to make all of these people reevaluate their position as a result.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's happening now. It's like it's so slowly and sure. This is why all these world powers are attempting to flex their muscle. We think they're going to war with each other, but all of them are going to a war with their public.
With their puppet, you say?
Their public.
Their public. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
All of them are going because they talk behind closed doors. They probably Putin probably even talking to Biden behind closed doors, trying to how we gonna set them up this time. Fuck this.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, come on now. I mean, at this point, we can't see anything other than the fact that they all are doing this to keep their public in slavery, all of them. So
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. And right now they got to be running around with the biggest hard-ons. I mean, because everything that puts humanity on lockdown is in play now.
This is what I'm saying, though. They got literally humanity held hostage by their threats of potentiality of atomic bomb. What military strategy did that mean? Did everyone just drop atomic bomb?
It's the end of this world.
You see the end to everybody are positioning themselves militarily on the international arena. Like it's an end to that, because everybody got a goddamn atomic bomb, then that's the end. But that's a threat to all of humanity. But humanity haven't even snapped out of the bullshit yet to see, like, okay, I don't care who got the motherfucker. Anybody who uses it is a threat to humanity, motherfucker. So all of y'all at this point, all of you states, we haven't came to that conclusion yet, and this is what every state at this point that has an atomic bomb is a threat to humanity.
Is a threat to itself, a threat to us all.
Yes.
Not just humanity, but the entire planet. Everything on the planet, the trees, right. The insects, the animals.
There is more than humanity on this planet, so don't get that ever fucked up.
Yeah. So now, now the war is going nuclear would take it beyond just humanity.
But that's why I know they're just bluffing, because there have already been entities that interfered that are not supposed to be interfering, because it's really would affect them too, so they had to interfere.
Yeah, like, it's affecting them. So
when they talked about how they some of these so-called aliens have come to some of these military and disabled some of their military warheads and all this stuff. Why? Because that would be a threat to their, even if they're in a whole nother dimension.
After we dropped the first 2 atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Tokyo, that's when all of the UFO phenomena really took off.
Yeah.
Right after World War II, right after we went nuclear.
Right, but that's exactly what I'm glad you said, that it's not just humanity, because I think that's going to change the dynamics of how we're thinking when that get entered into the play. That once I think we're coming to the point now where that's going to be exposed. What we're just saying is, like, there's other entities here that are not necessarily human, and we're going to be exposed to these people. I mean, we're going to be exposed to these entities now. I think that's already slowly but surely has happened in the whole disclosure project, and there's a number of different things that give hints to the fact that they're going to, you know what I'm saying, we're going to see one of these entities very soon. I mean, if we haven't already seen one.
Well, at the rate we're going, if they start dropping bombs, or about to, I can assure you at that point, we will then. They drop another bomb, we definitely going to be seeing some outsiders coming in.
You know, but people always mention the Galactic Confederation. You know what I'm saying? People mention the Galactic Confederation, and these are supposed to be some type of, I don't know. It seemed like some more militarization of space going on to me.
The Galactic Federation. Yeah, that could be.
I mean, they can be projecting their ambitions in the public so that we can actually manifest it in the spirit realm, so they can better its potentiality in the physical realm to manifest it. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do a lot.
Yeah, that Galactic Federation bullshit could be some demiurge shit or some government shit.
Right. They
Or
talk about it like they supposed to be some type of malevolent, you know what I'm saying, type of group
well,
or something,
yeah,
and
I
they
know
supposed
it's
to save
bullshit.
humanity, and it's come on now.
Yeah, I know it's bullshit because I remember when I first came in contact with that shit back in 2010, they were making all these promises and all these things that were supposed to be happening. Ain't none of that shit happened.
Right. Yeah. So we on schedule to see something really outside of what we're normally used to as humans seeing. We scheduled. It's
Yeah,
any day now. it's,
yeah,
right.
yeah. Well, when the blue
I
and red
always,
Chiquita,
always anticipate. I'm like, wow, it's about even with the whole gas price thing. Nah, it's like, come on, it's only a matter of time, man. At this
shit,
point.
man. If this embargo thing go through, Putin says crude oil could go to $300 a barrel. That's unthinkable. That would be if it goes to 150 or $175 a barrel right now.
Right.
That will break the backbone of the world economy, let alone 200 or 300. Because at 150, 175, or $200 a gallon, that means gasoline normally, I mean, just the normal price for gasoline across the country is going to be
Guess what?
$7. It'll be 10, 12 here in California.
And I hate to be selfish, but I ain't got a stake in it. I walk everywhere I go and get on the
Yeah,
bus.
but everything that you consume is transported. All the clothing you wear, the shoes you wear, the food you eat, the glasses you wear, everything that makes the world move is transported, and that costs. And if it costs too much to transport, that means nothing moves from point A to point B. If
And it
nothing gets
always it
moved,
always look like a setup, man. It always look like a
yeah,
setup.
yeah, that's the reset. That's the reset. That's going to they're forcing a reset. So the best thing to force the reset is energy, is to raise the price of energy. If the price of gasoline is $10-$20 a gallon, ain't shit going anywhere. This
You know what?
motherfucker
You know what? Also,
stops
they
like a
trying to
rock.
they're
Huh?
they're not they're the reset is their because they got their own phase of events on how this is going to turn out in their eyes too. So this
Yeah.
is
Well,
supposed
one thing
to
is to make it to where you're not mobile no more.
no. Also, they want to make it where they usher out the fossil fuel driven cars now. I had got a
Well,
flyer. I got a
yeah.
flyer that I got a flyer that talked about how the state will literally give you a certain amount of money for you to get an electric car.
Okay. Well, you know what? They got technology that's hundreds and hundreds of years in the future that can wipe all the poverty
Basically,
off the.
they could have solved this problem if they wanted to. Basically,
Yeah, this problem. Yeah, all the problems that we have on the planet right
they
now
got
is
the solution
solvable.
already. They
They
got the
got the
solution.
solution.
Yeah,
They don't want to solve the problems.
exactly.
There's something else that they much rather do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's where they fuck up. Because if they got the solution to solve all the problems on the planet and they're not, and they're holding it and letting it just be the way that it is and letting it get worse and worse and letting us think everything is off. Now, what they can do, they can start breaking that shit in on us, bringing in little by little and say, look what we got here.
Right.
They can start breaking some of that shit in on us. And that's how they can really get us. They take us real far over here, and then they come over here with some real far out shit, some real crazy shit.
I think they've already attempting that right now. This whole pokey is the evidence of that.
The whole what?
Pokey. Hokey pokey?
Hokey pokey?
Yeah. The V.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, you can't say it. You can't say it because,
yeah, I know you.
Because you get censored and stuff. Why? And people don't realize the fact that they literally own anything associated with the P.
Yeah.
They own it.
Yeah.
Listen to what I'm saying. They own everything associated with the P.
Mm-hmm.
They own
the PV.
The CV-19, whatever you want to call it. They own everything associated with that. This is how they can lock down on anybody speaking on the subject matter. Because you can't speak on a subject matter if the owners made that a stipulation of it being in the public arena. No, you can't dialogue about it, and that's only our experts that we've seen.
Well, then if they're the owners, and they have the pattern, then these are the motherfuckers we have to sue.
I mean, people have already figured that out and are suing at this particular moment. But you know how long it takes for a lawsuit to come into fruition.
Well, then you know what? The world,
some of them are coming into fruition now, and not people were not keeping up. As a matter of fact, that's what I'm gonna do. Is there's one lawsuit that happened in Canada where somebody in Canada sued the Canadian government for proof that there was a pandemic. The Canadian government the Canadian government couldn't prove that there was a pandemic, so he so-called won his case. But that's speculation, so I'm gonna go get all the research for it.
Well, then since this is something that they own, it's like owning a dog and the dog bites the neighbor. Is there okay? If my neighbor dog bites me, I can sue my neighbor.
It is that I would say the dog will be a bad analogy because this entity, you got to realize some of these corporations, these entities that are basically oligarchs in the system, these corporations are faceless. They're faceless entities that are nothing more than creatures of the state. Right? So they really don't have no one that you can pinpoint or say they're to blame for doing this. Right?
Oh, then
CEO, but they can change and rearrange CEO if they see fit. The corporation.
Okay, how can we do the same thing that they're doing? How can we become faceless entities and beings that can say whatever the fuck we want to say because we don't have nothing? They don't have no jurisdiction over it.
I'm glad you said that because that's one of my suggestions for those who want to transition in a free and because really most of what humanity has to do is become self-reliant, self-sufficient. We have to get off of the titty of this society and move on and take on all of our challenges and accountability and responsibility on our own. That's one of the main things that we got to get off the titty.
Yeah. Okay, we have to grow up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a hard thing for a lot of people to freaking do.
Yeah, because we scared to sleep.
They systematically put us in a comfort zone.
They put us in a coma.
In a coma. Wow. We so comfortable we in a coma.
We fell into a coma.
Coma. Wow.
Yeah.
And it's like people think the Matrix movie is just a joke, but it's playing out in actual reality in the way that we're seeing how humanity is so oblivious to the things that's going on, that's obviously going on around here. Them. They're totally oblivious. And it's purposely like when you think about it, just like how old dude said, I don't want to remember nothing. I don't why? This is what everybody's doing right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to remember nothing. You don't want to remember you are a divine soul. You are a divine spark.
No. Yeah, I don't want to remember how great I am. I don't want to know that I'm greater than this bullshit. Right. I don't want to know that I'm greater than shit. Because, okay, because I think
I'm comfortable with I'm not shit. So,
because I think all I know is just this shit.
Yeah.
I've been taught to believe that all I know and all I am is just this shit. Right. But actually I'm greater than that. And this little shit want me to give up everything, the greater part of me for this. No. People better wake the fuck up.
It's like right now, I watched another video that talked about nepotism, right, in the industry, in the music industry. Do you know that 85 to 90% of all artists on the scene are related to somebody else in the industry already?
Oh, really?
Yes. 85 to 90%. If you do a background check, they connected to somebody that's connected to somebody.
Oh, okay. So
it's like nepotism means favoritism towards your family. It's like it's favoritism towards your family. So the industry is like one of these actors. This is why a lot of people get pushed out of the family, and people don't really get accepted in the family. Some people, like with all this talent, you wonder why this person didn't blow up. Why? Because they must have offended the family.
Yeah.
Way.
Yeah, the family.
The entertainment industry is a family. You have to concede to the family rules, or your ass is not going to be associated with the family. Period.
Yeah.
And what happens is who loses is. And I think it's because they depend on it. We got an industry standard about everything. We think we bought into the fact that this bullshit that I need a record label to, you know what I'm saying, express my art. No, you can just express your art. Do it business minded and business sense and responsible. You know what I'm saying, and push your own art. Do you know? Do you know that independent artists are making 100 times more than an artist who got a deal?
Really?
Hell yeah. Why? Because do the math. An independent artist has no middleman, has little to no support from other backers. So they're doing all the work themselves. So mean they get all the profit. So they're looking at it like this. The average first record sales, the average standard artist has to achieve in order for them to be viable in the market and everything is they have to the first record sales do at least 25,000 sales at the most. Okay. And that's low. That's low, right?
Yeah.
You got artists doing the first day 50,000 and up and shit, right? That's the first day. That's just the first day projections.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happens is an independent artist, he's not projected to sell that many records, right? But if he build his audience up, and if he only got 100 people that is committed to buying his album, right?
Mm-hmm.
At $10, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's $1,000. Exit the cost, exit the cost
Mm-hmm.
of whatever you spent to make the album. You made a
Mm-hmm.
pretty good penny off of your
Okay.
album. We looking
Okay.
at it wrong because we looking at it, $1 million deal, but that's debt you got to pay back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
artist did it independently. He ain't got no debt. You feel me? He can still keep expanding his market, and it's all from his independent, comfortable way he was doing it. He don't have to
mm-hmm.
appease a big ass machine. You know what I'm saying? So it's a way
Yeah. So
you don't have
now
to.
let's look at someone like Dr. Dre. He got that $1 billion deal. So he's pretty much the property of that label.
Yes, yes. I mean, until you fulfill the contractual obligations, they own you.
They own you. And $1
A
billion,
lot of
that's a
times,
lot.
a lot of times, the language of those are have language that speaks to in perpetuity, meaning forever. In perpetuity means forever.
Does that mean like in the next lifetime?
Their children's children still in debt. This is now.
Oh,
Listen, now you seeing the how a lot of this what happened back in slavery time, how it happened. You know,
yeah.
there was a
The
there was
children being dead so they
They was
could.
indebted, yes, and they had to go into slavery to fulfill the debt.
Mm,
You know what I'm
okay.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
You paying the debt of your ancestors. That you know what I'm saying? A lot of people. I see that system in ancient principle being played out in the slave system that we call slavery.
Oh, that's fucked up.
You know what I'm saying? So,
That's
but
a
this is the
fucked up.
same dynamics today. You know what I'm saying? This is the only way right now. Who's going to pay the national debt? You know that
Our
shit is like over $1 trillion. Who's
children.
paying that shit?
Oh, the shit. Slavery coming back.
Who gonna pay the national debt? As soon as I say
Slavery's
who gonna pay the
coming
national
back.
debt, you say slavery coming back because you see the
Hell yeah.
correlation. You see the goddamn
Slavery's
correlation.
coming
Who's
back.
supposed to pay that shit? You understand me? Who's supposed to pay it?
I don't know, but
All of the American people who allowed them to accumulate that much debt.
mm-hmm.
Y'all got to pay
Oh,
for it because they did it in your name.
yeah. So then our children
Are going to be
oh
slaves.
we gonna be the most we the most fucked up people in the universe right now.
Listen, they set us up already for us to be slaves to the Chinese already. Period.
Yeah.
They set us up. I mean, if you're going to go by the presumptions that they have about who we actually are, who we are, not who we actually are, but if you're going by the presumption of who you are, you property of the United States government. Stop it, and we can prove it.
And now the United States is sold everything it owns to everybody else.
Yeah. It had to liquidate
Because it's in bankrupt.
Yeah, it had to liquidate.
It's bankrupt.
It had to liquidate, man.
Okay, say hello to your new plantation owners.
Yeah.
Ching yin yang.
Yeah, basically. This
Oh,
is why they had to hurry up. They had to steal the election from Trump because Trump was trying to set up certain principles back up. You know what I'm saying? That's why they had to get rid of Trump because he was going back to old principles of the Republican representative government, and you know what I'm saying. He was trying to revitalize that principle into the system, into the goddamn government.
You know what this shit, this
They try to make
soap
it
opera.
appear. He's the only president who got impeached 2 times in history.
Damn, this remind me of some Star Wars shit. The
Right.
Republic and the Empire.
Right. You know what? I never really, because I watched the Star Wars series just based on the adventures, the adventures and the action part of it. I never really tried to
The
discern
politics.
the politics of it.
Oh,
I swear to God, I never. But I recently have, since I've been watching it recently now. Now that I have that type of mindset, because I usually wasn't into politics. That I was one of those persons who was like, I don't get involved in politics. I don't want to think about politics and all that stuff. But then when I learned how it can it can actually give me concept to discern what's going on.
Yeah.
I start getting into politics.
Yeah, we can't throw nothing now. Knowledge is infinite. We can't throw nothing. We got to look at it as another form of knowledge.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Knowledge is infinite.
You're not privy to concepts that the political arena is throwing around. You're going to be a victim of it.
Yeah. Now it's time to wake up and smell the coffee. It might be too late.
I mean, at this point, it is too late, man. If you're not willing to snap up out of it and realize, it's like a detox. It's like a recovery type thing. Withdrawals. All that. You got to go through all that. We talked about that last week. People got to go through withdrawals. This is an addictive system. This is an ignorance is bliss.
No, they got us so doped up. If we try to withdraw, we'll die.
Yeah,
you die.
Some people will who ain't strong enough to you know what I'm saying, go through the detox. Yeah.
You get so sick until you wouldn't know what to do. None of this would matter. You'd be so sick. I mean, just imagine.
That just brings into reality what it is in the first place. None of this actually does matter to your mortality.
Yeah.
Immortality.
But what does matter is still how did we, well, I guess you're right. None of this shit matters. I mean, this is just a fucking, this is a fucking hologram scenario we decided to be a part of and just play the part and play it out.
It's just not that, you know what I'm saying, passive, like you just said. We are actively in a self-mastery simulation.
Okay.
So the whole point of everything that we're confronted with is a test to whether you're going to take the low road or the high road. Are you going to vibrate on a high level? Are you going to allow your insecurities to get the best of you? This is why my demon lecture, the lecture that I'm doing on the demon is going to be so fucking monumental to people realizing the inner work that needs to be done with themselves.
Yeah.
Because this is at the bottom line of why the beast has taken over the minds of the people, because everyone is so insecure and not doing the work within that will allow them to ascend beyond becoming a slave.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sticking around for that slavery shit.
Hey, listen. I'm the type, man, like you said, they come through this motherfucker, man, we going out together, man. Fuck it. We going out because we're not.
I'm gonna say I got diplomatic immunity.
I'd rather die than be a slave. Me personally.
I'd
rather die than be a slave.
Yeah, I'd rather die being free than die being a slave. Yep. Die fighting for my freedom, and then die a slave.
Right.
No but then again, I don't need. But what the fuck is freedom? What is real freedom?
Freedom is being able to express yourself regardless. Freedom is not having some oligarchy as system dictating your mood and making it appear like they're doing this within the best within your best interest. No, that's not freedom. Freedom is the ability to access to everything necessary that humanity needs for free. That's freedom. I mean, all of this capitalism, I don't see how it's in the interest of humanity.
No, it's not. That's selfishism.
Right. I don't see how capitalism is in the interest of humanity at
all. Selfishness.
Once we realize this, we haven't even realized that simple concept is how are we benefiting off of capitalism? Humanity as a whole. Of course, they give us these rhetoric, financial rhetoric, and try to make it appear like, oh, this is all in the benefit of the GDP. And the GDP is supposed to be in the interest of the country, and it's all in the interest of the people. Hell, fuck out of here, man.
I mean, if it really worked like that, maybe on some scale, I mean, there are programs out there that does help people. I mean, if you apply yourself to certain things, you can get access to things that can help you probably if you look further enough, deep enough, but it's not going to be out there in your face, you know. So you're not going to see the shit on TV, on commercials or anything like that. But
I've noticed that what you just said is very much true, because even as it pertains to people who are being presumed under colorable law to be under the jurisdiction of the corporate entity calling itself the United States of America, Inc., right? And as a result, they become the property, right? And it ain't that you are the property, but all of those instruments, the birth certificate, social security card, are the property of that entity. Right? Yeah. So when you answer to it, you're answering to it. You're basically agreeing to the contractual relationship.
Now, okay. Now, all right. They got all this shit established. All right. But see, we don't have no other choice. We haven't now. We should.
Who don't have? What do you mean by we don't have another choice?
We don't have another visible entity, self-sustaining entity that's established that we can go to and represent ourselves in that aspect, rather than having to participate only in their bullshit. And if you don't participate in their bullshit, then you're just left out in the cold.
But I think that is contrary to what you said, that the system itself depends on us continuing to engage in our own slavery. So the power is not with the system; the power is with us. And
okay, then
all we would have to do is make the decision and say we're going to stop falling for the social engineering programming that they've set up against us, and realize the true dynamics of where the power lies with the people.
Now,
that saying of all power to the people.
Okay, now
backwards. That's not based in the actual jurisprudence. It ain't all
Okay.
power to the people. It's all power already with the people.
Okay, but what about that $30 trillion deficit? Okay, let's say we,
You talking about the national debt?
yeah, that they established on our behalf through our name.
Well, they've established this based on false premises legally. They've done it in fraud. This is why you can go back and rebut it. That
Okay.
you are obligated to it because they did it on false premises and it was all fraud. There is no there's no statutory limit for calling out fraud.
Mm.
Or
Well, shit.
what is it? Statutory limit to call out fraud.
So, in other words, damn, I forgot my point.
What the thing is, most people think that someone is going to come free them when everyone's freedom is of their own active interest in their own affairs. And
they had to participate in.
Taking hold of their own affairs. Because until then, the state is already claiming you as a dependent.
Well, then all we need to do is know how. Just need to understand all the principles behind what we need to know in order to enact that and take that power away from the state and bring the power back to ourselves.
Right. I mean, familiarize yourself with some of the principles of law, like a state. Like everyone is born with an estate, so you would have to be familiarized with, like, then be familiarized with the idea of executive, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because who's the executive of the estate? Who can execute anything in the affairs of the estate? Mind you, everyone was born with an estate, right? What's the first thing in your estate?
The first thing in my estate would
Yes,
I would assume
that
my
you were
name.
born with. Huh?
My name.
Your name and your actual body.
My natural body. Okay. Yeah. Okay, that's when they take your footprint.
Right. And they put it on an instrument that's a creature of the state, and now they're claiming you through that instrument.
And they claim it.
Yeah, they're claiming you through the instrument.
And then they give you that number.
Yes. It's just a sophisticated version of slavery.
Isn't that
if you read the 14th Amendment, right? It says it abolished slavery and involuntary servitude. But voluntary servitude is legal, meaning you can be totally ignorant of how contracts affect your life, and you can just out here signing contract nilly willy, not reading them. And this is another form of slavery that they've imposed on you. Well, not necessarily imposed; you voluntarily.
Well, that's the same thing as they use it with the old, the devil with the horns and the red suit, lying to you, tricking you into believing in him, and then he end up with your soul.
Right.
They the same.
Yeah, Mr. Spooky. It's spookism. They trying to scare you away from the true concept that you need to be really delving into as it pertains to the devil.
But actually, they're talking about themselves.
Oh, of course, they expose themselves all the time because of their arrogance.
Yeah, I mean, the devil tricking people out of their souls is the system.
Definitely. Right, definitely. But again, the devil is nothing more than a manifestation of your lower self too. So
yeah,
it's more like you not dealing with yourself to the point where it your shadow to the point where it had to manifest itself into a physical manifestation to
A
present.
physical world in a whole physical universe,
Yes.
entrapped and entrapped
Yes. And
and
this is where we say
trapping your energy in it.
this is the fall of humanity right there. That fall from vibratory state.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's it. Fall into the illusion of separation.
Right.
Yeah, that's the lower vibratory.
Well,
Okay, we fell into that. We've been in that for a long time. So now I'm assuming we're coming out of it. We're on the other end of it.
yeah. We
Okay,
are
so we
we are
have
at
to
the
start
bottom.
thinking that way.
We are at the bottom end of ascending.
Yeah, we're at the beginning, yeah, of the ascending. So
Yeah.
we have to start thinking that way.
Right.
Yeah, everyone have to start thinking in that direction.
But that's why this is kind of why I do the practice that I always encourage us all to be on, is the practice of imagining first of all, first destroying all of what they've told us is going to happen, right? Destroying that in our heads, in our spirits right now.
Yeah, purification.
Imagining something that you want to come about for the future.
Yeah, that's called purification, burning away the impurities.
Yes.
Purging out the impurity.
Because if you perpetuate, if you keep, this is a program. They're programming you. Why? Because they know that our quantum computers collectively will manifest their reality.
Which can't blame them.
I mean, it's ingenious, like you said. It's an ingenious plan. It just humanity got to just wake up and stop wanting to.
Yeah, humanity got to come to terms with it. Yeah,
They got to
okay,
stop
great.
accepting their own slavery.
I mean,
like it seems like this. Like they've degenerated them to the point where they love their slavery. It's like how they used to say this back in the day.
it's embedded in their DNA now.
Listen, they used to say this back in the day. They love the devil for giving them nothing.
They love the devil for giving them nothing.
Yes, that's the state. Well,
actually,
state humanity is in.
Well, actually,
they love the devil for giving them nothing.
Well, actually, I think that's I kind of can't agree with that one. I think the devil is the one that gives you all the glamour. It gives you all the illusion of all these great things that turns out to be nothing. But if he came to me and just to offer me nothing, actually, he's probably offering me salvation, because through the nothingness comes the absolute all.
Why? I mean, the way it's misleading is how is, and that's not the. It's like, oh, that's crazy, because this is research in my my research in the lecture that I'm doing about demons and stuff. It says that these are neutral beings, and they're just there to either test your soul on whether you're going to. It's all up to you what you're going to do. They're not there. We've because of Christian connotation, we've labeled them as evil, but they're not. They're just neutral entities, and they could become evil if you accept them as that. If that's if you're looking at it as that, they do become evil to you.
Yeah.
We don't see that we're the one controlling this shit.
Well, yeah, they're those demons are aspects, parts of us. Well, Bobby Hemmett called it melanin.
Right.
Yeah.
It's your agitator within. If you didn't have an agitator, you wouldn't grow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Your demons have been there from birth.
Mm-hmm.
helping you along in your soul evolution.
Yeah, well, you can call on them for strength and, you know, energy to help you to get you through tough situations or whatever it is you need that extra for.
Listen, I'm gonna substantiate what you just said. Another aspect of the etymology of the word demon is superpower, supernatural power.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It literally says supernatural power, and if it said supernatural power, it's
Mm-hmm.
not saying that the demon it has supernatural power. It says a demon is supernatural power. So if a demon is a part of you, that means you have access to that supernatural power.
Yeah, that's my access. It's just the fuck. They just haven't figured out the language down here is so fucked up. They haven't figured out a way to be able to communicate this in a way to where we can get it and use it like a science.
Right. And also angels are aspects of ourselves that we can use in these higher realms.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They, as a matter of fact, listen, they were undistinguishable in ancient times. Angel and demons were undistinguishable. They were literally some of the same type of entities. They were just the vibratory state. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like just like just like the law of correspondence, right? And the hermetics, right? As above,
Mm-hmm.
so below,
Yeah,
right?
as within, so without.
And
As
then
without,
so
so
without.
within.
So all we're doing, like for example, the darkness is the light, and the light is the
Mm-hmm.
dark.
Mm-hmm.
We're just looking at two vibratory states of two extremes of the vibratory state, right?
Yeah, and now we're experiencing it in this. At this time, we're experiencing it on one level, and then it'll flip and go to another level.
Right. That leads me to a whole another point of how now everything is a message. Everything that we cannot overlook all of the omens, all of the divine synchronicities that's happening right now. That's another thing that you're all missing out on. There's all type of omens leading you
Oh
to.
yeah,
There's all type of
you.
things leading you right now to the right path, and the right way that you're supposed to
Oh,
be in your purpose.
oh man,
A lot of
man,
times
tell
people
me
not
about it.
paying attention.
And let me tell you something. And if you don't pay attention, you will pay. If you
Yeah,
don't listen to your intuition,
yeah,
if you don't listen to those voices deep down inside that you know is right, that's telling you to do the right thing. And it's not always, and it take balls to listen, take balls to do this because it's not natural. It's not the way we like to do things.
Look, I was so walking in the spirit all my life. I've been some type of person who just is in tune with my intuitive nature and when something higher is speaking to me, to
Mm-hmm.
the point where people kind of look at me like as a hood ninja. I even got a song called Hood Ninja.
Good
But
ninja. Okay.
yeah, because I'll be there 1 minute and I'm gone. Like because I move
Uh-huh.
in the spirit like that. Like I don't really stay in one place like that. I just and I it's like I'm that's what a lot of people kind of are kind of interested in me because they like I'm a mystery to their ass. Like how is he
Yeah.
able to just pop up and just go like you feel me? Because I walk in the
Yeah.
spirit. I walk in the spirit. It's like I don't go by my human logic a lot of times.
Me, I'm like I consider myself like a storm, a coming, as a storm sweeping across the land. It's moving like 20, 25 miles an hour. You can see it on the horizon, and then you take your eyes off, and you look back again, it's right up on you.
Right.
And you better be prepared because it's coming. That's how I am. I'm like a storm.
Right.
Yeah. It is just
we got to move to with that, brother. I think we got to move on to next week because I got to get ready.
Okay.
I thought the brother was gonna come in today too, but yeah, I get people be busy.
Well, it's Saturday night, dude. Not everybody can do this on a Saturday night.
I would think a Saturday night would be a convenient. Like most people our age ain't partying like that. What would be the only thing that?
Yeah,
what would be
that's
the only
true
thing
too.
that we would be doing? Like what the fuck would you be doing on a Saturday night? Watching movies? That's about it. What?
Okay, well, let's call it a night. I got a call.
All right, brother.
Okay.
Cool.
All right. Wait.